So your kid's bus driver is driving drunk. Sounds pretty outrageous, but parents, it is happening more often than you think. Just this week in Manchester, Connecticut, this school bus driver, Melissa Forrest, was charged with DUI after rear-ending another vehicle. And this was after police received calls that she was driving erratically.
You wouldn't think like that could happen when you're get on a school bus.
I think they need to prosecute this person because, this person did put a lot of kids' lives in danger.
But here's the deal. Melissa Forrest isn't the only impaired driver that's been busted while busing your kids around. Take a look at this bus driver that's going to come out first. That is Betty Burden, arrested for DUI, blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit. Let's move over to the next bus driver in the case of DUI that we found. Tamara Gustavson, arrested for DUI and even caught with a loaded gun on your school bus. Another example that we found, Cheryl Hembry, blood alcohol level of 0.09, had an open container on the school bus she was driving. So what do you think? Do we need to test every bus driver for booze on their breath? Well, New York Senator George Maziarz thinks so. If passed, his bill would require every school bus to be equipped with a breathalyzer. He joins me now live. Senator, what exactly led you to propose this bill?
Well, some of the examples that you pointed out there, this is not an overly burdensome cost. What this bill would do would require that all buses manufactured after the year 2015 that are going to be used within the state of New York. I'm a New York State senator, so we can only regulate it here in New York. Would have to be equipped with one of these breathalyzers. Very simple. It's right in the steering wheel. The bus driver gets on in the morning, takes a straw, blows into it. They have no alcohol in their system, or the bus starts. If they do, the bus doesn't start. Obviously, a supervisor would then come in and determine why this bus driver was not capable of driving it. Ironically enough, this legislation came to me from bus drivers who were concerned about some bad bus drivers. And I want to hasten to add that 99% of all bus drivers are great. They care about your kids. They are safe. They drive safe. They're well trained. But there's that 1% that we've got to watch out for.
Well, it's interesting that some states do have levels, blood alcohol levels, but they're low. I mean, Pennsylvania has 0.02. New York says 0.04. My question, Senator, is why is there a limit at all? Because there's a limit in your state.
Yeah, there shouldn't be one. I'm not an expert in this area. I think there may be some other reasons why there is, but not that I'm shocked to hear that there is one, to be honest with you.
Okay, I kind of thought maybe it was if you're sick and you take cough medicine, because alcohol can show up in those.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Something like cough medicine, or even mouthwash has a certain. I'm told anyway that mouthwash may have a certain element of alcohol to it.
Well, one of the other problems here is background checks because they're not consistent. I mean, let me give you an example. Melissa Forrest, the Manchester bus driver there. The company that employed her says each driver is subjected to drug and alcohol screenings as well as background checks, including driving, employment, and criminal history. She passed. Now, let me ask this to the senator or to Randy. Let me get you in here. Okay. Why aren't there repeat background checks? I mean, look at Ariel Castro. Ariel Castro had a background check in the beginning, and then he didn't have one. And lo and behold, he's holding 3 women hostage for 10 years.
It's a slow climb. Background checks, we didn't have them years ago. We didn't have technology years ago. We didn't have the ability to go on Google and find somebody. It's starting. And I think shows like this are going to show why we need to do repeat checks. People can be great when they get hired. And they can denigrate, they can get worse. You're right, there should be more. But, the first thing is to have background checks on everybody, and then 6 months, 12 months. And as long as they're not invasive, and nowadays they're not invasive, you don't have to come in and go through a whole interview. It just takes a click on a computer or on a cell phone to see that somebody, you put in somebody famous, and half the time what comes up is mugshot.com.
Yeah, but if you're not famous, like you're a bus driver, right? And you've had a background check, you've been driving a bus for 10 years, but all of a sudden you go, you hit hard times in life, you turn into an alcoholic, right. you get busted. Usually nobody will be able to find out about it. And the next thing you know, they're popping one back on the bus when they're driving your kids to school.
One of the realities in this is that I'm retained to do background checks, and it's the cost factor. I mean, it costs money to do a background check. People think that you can go.
How much does it cost?
If you want a comprehensive background search done on someone that includes law enforcement It includes everything that a person's name can show up on. It's anywhere from $175 to $225. And so it does cost. Now, people think that you can just go on the internet and do a casual background. You can, but you're just going to get general information. There are backgrounds that law enforcement, people in the business, such as myself, subscribe to, that I had to have a thorough background and vetting to even subscribe to this particular system. So it's cost.